Hello, everyone. Listen, are you looking to get started in the real estate game, real estate investing, but you're saying to yourself, man, it's on sales. I don't really have a lot of money. And I keep seeing all these things talking about today is the day and this is the time, yada, yada, yada. But listen, I got low funds, man, so I can't get started. So you got to give me the secret sauce. So guess what? You tuned into the right video. Who am I? I'm Kareem Lewis, your trusted Houston realtor, the one that keeps it real with you, aka Sergeant Sales. And I'm back again with this hot topic showing you exactly in today's market how to get started as a real estate investor, right? With no money, right? So before I get started, go ahead and like, subscribe, share, follow, help me, help you, help us, right? So now let's get into it. How do you get started in real estate as a real estate investor with low funds, right? Low money, no credit, just starting. You know, you hear about, man, I need about 20% down, 30% down. I saw your video about DSCR loans. I just don't have that. I want to get started. So listen, this is the number one way to get started. If you followed me before, you've seen any of my videos, you should have saw where I talked about the best way to get into real estate investing is with a FHA loan, because you only need 3% down. Or with, if you're a veteran, you can get a VA loan, which is $0 down, right? Or if you got good credit, you can get a conventional loan where you can pay now as low as 3%, which those are good because they don't have PMI attached to it. So you can get started that way. And instead of just getting a single family home or a townhome, buy you a duplex, triplex, or fourplex. That is the cheapest way to get started, right? But let's just say, Sergeant Sales, I purchased a home. I already got my home, but I want to get started in investing. And I kind of took my money already in that, when I purchased my home, but I want to get started. Simple. Hit me up. I can show you how with a simple, quick refinance, you can get restarted and kind of use some of the same plays. If you look at my videos, I talked about it. I'm not going to go too much into it now. Just hit me up for a call and we can get you started like that, right? So now let's get into the meat and potatoes of things. So now with investing, there's a term out there that you'll see. It's called BRRRR, right? Like Gucci Mane, BRRRR, BRRRR. Buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. I'm going to say that again. Buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat, right? And the basis of that, each part of the step, buy, you're going to purchase a home, right? You're going to rent out that home. You're going to refinance so you can draw some money from the equity, right? So then you can repeat and do it all over again, right? So again, Sergeant Sales, I didn't have the money. Remember, you're supposed to show me how to get started because I don't have probably the 10%, 20%, 30% that you normally need. This is how it goes. So the cheapest loan that you can get, right, for 10%, and in some cases, even up to 100% LTC, loan to close, right, is hard money fix and flip loans, right? And it's all based not on your credit, but it's based on the property. And as long as the property, you figure it got 30% equity into it, there's a formula, which if you watch my videos, you'll see that formula, or call me, hit me up. They'll lend you the money based on that, right? But normally you need about 10% down. The way that works is if I got a $200,000 loan you need 10%, which is 20,000 down to make it happen, right? You don't have 20,000. So the next thing you can say is, if you have a job that has one of those IRA programs, go ahead and look to make an IRA loan so that this way, it's lower than any other loan that you can possibly have. It don't take away from, the stocks and shares that you probably purchased through your company, You just loaning money, you pay it back when you refi, no problem, right? Or if you got a family member that has, IRA, something like that, some savings, you'd be surprised. Instead of earning back that low money, you know, they'll look to earn back some bigger interest. And you set them up, tell them, man, I give you, 10% return if you loan me this for X amount of time. And if the deal makes sense, you'd be surprised people will be willing to give you the money. Again, it's based on the deal. But let's just say, sorry, sales, I come from a long line of broke people, right? Mama broke, daddy broke, uncle broke, everybody broke, right? So that's not going to work for me. I need the sauce so that I can raise money quick so that I can get started. So now let's go into the meat and potatoes of it all. You need to get started as a wholesaler or a bird dog, right? And I'm going to explain the difference between the two. Wholesaling, you'll see this a lot. You put it in the Google search, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, you'll see everybody talking about wholesaling, right? What wholesalers are is they go out, they find a deal, they find off-market deals, right? That's cheap, and they flip it instead of them actually doing the fix and flip because they don't have the money. They don't have that 10%, 20% down. They just flip it off to another investor and they get an assignment fee, right? And that's how they earn funds from it. Okay. Now, remember I mentioned wholesaler and bird dog because there are differences, right? The difference between a bird dog and a wholesaler is a bird dog usually just say, if you're walking around right now and you look in your neighborhood and you look in the neighborhood and you see a house, it always got, you ever see, a house, grass not cut, and they rent it out. You might even know the landlord, and it seems like he don't take care of the property, look kind of raggedy, grass, trash, everything else. It could just be a tired landlord. And in that case, that landlord might want to sell. So if you know the landlord or you just seen a property like this, you take some pictures, you get the address. If you can get a name of who owns it, even better. But if you got a couple of pictures of how it looked like, plus the address, you send that to an investor, they'll give you some quick cash just for that, right? Just for taking some pictures and the address. If they close on it, boom, they give you about $500 to up to about $2,000. A wholesaler does a little bit more digging, right? The same concept where you find an ugly house, right? Rather you walking around what they used to call driving for dollars, or you can look online. They got different websites that you can find this information from, county sites, things like that, things that you can pay for, things that's free. Not going to go deep into it. If you want to know, you can hit me up and I can let you know with that. Anyway, they get this information. They actually reach out to the owners and they negotiate with a contract with the owners to purchase a house at X amount of price. Then they find an end buyer, an investor, to pretty much buy the property from them or buy the contract from them because they don't own the home, but they have a contract. And as long as you have in that contract, you have an assignment notice in there where you can assign the contract. That's what they do. Now, if it's a lot of money, they can do something called a transactional funding deal where they close with the actual seller, right? And then they do a double close where they close with the seller and then they close with the end buyer, right? If they have a bigger spread. Otherwise, they take their quick 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 on the assignment deal, and then they're gone, right? And you might say, well, so on sales, that sounds good where I could make $500 easy, $10,000 easy, but again, that's something that I have to learn. Guess what? I got something for you. So as always, I'm your secret sauce. I am your information plug. I'm anti-guru. I don't believe in that. People always charging X amount of money. And, at the end of the day, you still not making money. And it's like, if anything, they always trying to upsell you something where you constantly buying new stuff, but you're not getting nowhere, right? So guess what Soren Sales did? Soren Sales said, listen, I'm trying to help the people. So right now, if you're trying to get started in real estate and you want, you don't know the 411, you don't know how to get started, you don't have a clue, sometimes you just need like an accountability partner to kind of push you, motivate you, and show you the ropes, mentorship, right? So what I got right now, I am me, Soren Sales. I'm looking for bird dogs and wholesalers to help me with Trinity Wealth Network, because we have a group of investors that's looking for properties here in the Houston metro area, Texas, as well as some other states. So if right now you sitting here, you looking at this video, you saw where it's like, man, I'm trying to find funding, I'm trying to get started, I don't have no clue, I need some knowledge, I don't want to pay these gurus $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 for their courses. Listen, I got free training, free, low price of zero. You can't beat it. Well, I want you to join my group as a bird dog. I'm going to start you off as a bird dog, and I'm going to show you. So right now, this is good for people if you're already working an outside job. It's nothing that you got to quit your job for, right? So if you got an outside job, if you do landscaping, if you do cable repair, like cable installations, things like that, you could be a mailman. Maybe you deliver for Amazon or a carrier, things like that. Just somebody that's always out and about, you always going to and fro, or you got free time that you like, hey man, I want to learn how to do that. That sounds interesting. I'm outside, I'm on, all you need is a cell phone, as long as you got a car or a bike that you can just, where you can get around the different neighborhoods to be able to take pictures and get addresses, things like that. And you can get paid up to $2,000 just for taking pictures. Likewise, you can learn the game with me and you can grow with me, right? So I'm looking for bird dogs, or in my company, I call them scouts. I'm a veteran. Everything about me is veteran based. So I'm looking for new field scouts to go out, scout the land, find deals. We sell it to investors. I get paid, you get paid, we all win. So if you're interested, drop in a comment, Field Scout, and we'll go ahead and get you set up. Get you set up with a call, and we get you put on the team, and let's go out here and let's go get this green. So again, if you have any questions, anything, always feel free to drop them in the comments. Again, this is Kareem Lewis, Soren Sales. Hope you enjoyed. Till the next time. God bless you. Have a nice day.